The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Optavia team.
In general, achieving a healthy weight and following a healthy eating pattern may help reduce inflammation in the body. The extent and duration of potential inflammation reduction and how that affects a person's health status will vary from person to person based on numerous factors. This program and any of its materials do not in any way constitute medical advice or substitute for medical treatment. We recommend that you consult your healthcare provider prior to starting any weight loss program.
Welcome everyone to our Habits of Health webinar this evening. I'm so happy you all are joining us. I love watching the numbers explode of the people that are joining us tonight. My name is Kat Fuller. I'm a certified Optavia coach, and I'll share my story with you later. I'm co-hosting with one of my dearest friends, Michael Smith, and I will also introduce him in just a second. And I'm getting a little echo. Just one sec. There we go. Sorry about that. Anyway, we will just get started. We're really excited about talking to you this week about inflammation. And a lot of times when we think about the habits of health or Optavia in general, we maybe just think about, all the wonderful things that it does for our weight, or some of the other habits of health that we read about in Dr. A's Habits of Health. And we are excited to share our personal stories. We have a guest, an awesome story from one of our guests tonight too. And we're just anxious to share with you some of the benefits of all the habits of health and how it plays into our lives with inflammation. So here, I picked pictures of Michael and me, which have kind of have to do with inflammation. So I'm the 5th over from the right, second over from the left, second over from the right. I play volleyball, and I played two sports competitively in college, volleyball and softball. I was a competitive gymnast as a kid. I've always thought pain was just part of life. And I grew up kind of, icing my joints, and I had knee surgeries and things like that. And after I had 4 children, I was about 37, and I was playing volleyball, sand volleyball, with a friend of mine, and my knees were just exploding with inflammation. And I went to the physician. I went to an orthopedic surgeon, and I was like, well, it's probably time for me to have surgery again. And he said, yeah, you're going to quit. You need to quit playing volleyball. This is something you need to stop, unless you just want to keep having surgeries. Well, he didn't mention to me that, or ask me any questions really about my weight. And I was a good 35 pounds over my ideal weight at the time. And all that extra weight, I knew it was hurting my joints. And I tried a lot of things to lose weight, but it wasn't, I didn't know what else to do. So I actually was talking with one of my friends I play volleyball with, and I just said, hey, she was a coach. And I said, hey, I need your help. I see you helping all these people. I don't know, maybe you can help me. And so I went on to lose 35 pounds. And I remember that summer of 2012, I had a cortisone shot, and I actually had a tentative surgery date for yet another scope and a clean out with my knees. And my doctor always said I had 90-year-old knees at 37, which makes me feel really good. And I started the program, and I started feeling better. And it wasn't just the weight, it was the lack of inflammation in my body. I have now gone, since that summer of 2012, It'll be 6 years come June. I think it was June 30th. I had my last shot, and I still play competitively. This was taken earlier this year or last fall. I'm not sure when we took this picture. We take a lot with our little group, but anyway, so as I've learned how this program benefits me, I've loved sharing with other people, and I'm excited to share with you another different perspective of inflammation from Michael. So take it away, Michael.
Hey guys.
First, I know you're not going to say this about yourself, so I need to give a proper introduction to Michael Smith. He is a board certified physician. He is the chief medical editor of WebMD, correct?
That's right.
An ACE certified personal trainer, which is no small feat in and of itself. So I know you wouldn't brag on yourself.
Well, thank you for that intro. That is relevant, though, as to why I'm here. I'm not here because I'm a physician. I'm almost here despite that I'm a physician, like Kat was saying. So my passion is wellness, and honestly became a physician because I wanted to help people get healthy and create health in their lives. I quickly found out in practice that's not what you do. I am still a physician. I still do medicine, but my passion is actually transforming lives through this program and through healthy habits, including myself. So I did not have a weight loss need, but I had no idea what a need I had that would actually be impacted by this program. I have an autoimmune condition called ankylosing spondylitis. It's a mouthful. I really hope that there are other people on here who have autoimmune conditions, because if there are, I'm so excited for you, because this is by far the best thing that you can do for yourself. So I wanted to try the program because I was definitely going to coach it, because my partner had amazing results, lost 37 pounds on the program. I knew that this was finally what I wanted to do. So I was going to give it a shot and try it so I could feel fat burn. Boy, I had no idea what I was in store for. I often had pain in my chest, pain in my sacroiliac joints in my lower back, kind of widespread pain and inflammation and fatigue. Within a matter of a week or so, it was practically gone. I was shocked, because it has now been 3.5 years and I almost never have any of that. Now, we don't know what will happen to you, but I can promise you this, that when you make healthy choices and you fuel your body in the right way, the inflammation levels in your body will go down drastically. So we're excited to share this opportunity with you tonight.
Awesome. So we have some stuff we want to share with you. What is inflammation? Looking up in the U.S. National Library of Medicine, inflammation is, generally speaking, it's our body's immune system's response to stimulus. Michael, can you expand on that a little bit from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, really, when you think of inflammation, it has several components. Pain, swelling, and redness are the main three. So anytime inflammation is happening in your body, now if it's on your skin, you see it, right? You have the swelling. It's red, it hurts. But that same thing is going on in your body when you have heart disease, when you eat too much sugar, which we'll be getting into. So no matter where it is, that's what's going on. And your immune system is basically on hyperdrive. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not.
Exactly. And that's what we want to talk about, is the two different types of inflammation we have. So the first is acute immunization. And this is what Michael was talking about, is the good inflammation. This is when you sprain your ankle, or maybe you get a bug bite. That's a form of inflammation. So your immune system goes on high alert. Like he said, there's incoming white blood cells. They are our benevolent protectors. They rush in to fix everything. It's our 24-hour on-call emergency service. Like Michael said, there's fever, swelling, severe pain in a centralized area. It's telling us we need to take care of that specific injury or pain point or whatever it is. So that's what acute is. Can you talk to us a little bit about the dark side of inflammation?
Yeah, absolutely. So keep in mind, anywhere you have inflammation, this is happening in your heart arteries, in your joints, in your lungs. It can happen anywhere. So you got all these immune system cells flooding the area. They produce a lot of toxic chemicals that usually our body will contain. But when it happens chronically at a low level, it really kind of goes untapped. And all those little damaging cells and toxic chemicals that are being produced are slowly producing the tissue damage that is reflected through all the pain and the fatigue that we often feel when we have that low level of chronic inflammation.
Right. I clicked a little early. If you weren't done, I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. That was good.
We want to share with, this is Laurel Massey, and she has a great story that we're excited to share with you about her story. And Laurel is actually, she's one of our youngest coaches on our team. So Laurel, I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little bit and share your story.
Okay. Hey, y'all. Like she said, my name is Laurel, and I am a senior in college majoring in neuroscience and cognitive studies, just to see if it would help with my chronic fatigue, my neuropathic pain, just all the inflammation that my body was dealing with. And it did, to my surprise. As soon as I got into fat burn, I could tell a difference. I have really been able to put this to the test when I receive Botox for migraines. We discovered last year that I have an inflammatory response to the injection. That's been great.
So that is incredible. And I know you did lose a tiny bit of weight, which you were excited about.
I have. I have lost a little bit of weight. I've lost more inches than pounds, but it has helped boost my energy, which has been great for someone with chronic fatigue, and it's really just given me such a huge boost of energy. Feels so much better.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Laurel, whenever I have inflammation in my body, I know that I'm swollen. And so I think, all those inches you lost it's so amazing that our bodies can react so purely and fix themselves when we feed them and do the right things. So thank you so much. I love your story.
Thank you.
All right. So we will move on. So the causes of chronic inflammation, and Michael mentioned a few of these a little bit. It comes from a few different places. So our chronic inflammation can come from what we eat. You are what you eat. I believe Dr. A says that in Habits of Health. Whether we choose to eat processed foods, high calorie foods, high fat, high sugar, then that's the kind of food that's going to put us on the path to disease. If we're choosing to eat leaner proteins and green vegetables and lower fat, healthy, and include our healthy fats, then we're going to see ourselves going on the path to optimal health. Let's talk about the other environments. Michael, can you share some of your knowledge of the internal and external environments?
Absolutely. So we've learned a lot about what we call visceral fat, which is basically fat that's all around our organs, which includes a lot of our organs there in our belly area. So fat around your middle is particularly bad. We know that people who have fat around the middle or eat those foods like Kat was talking about, we have direct evidence that inflammation levels are going up in your body. Like there was one study that showed even drinking the equivalent of one sugary soda a day for 6 months, like quadrupled the level of inflammation just from what's in one soda. So, fat around your middle, chronic infections, lack of sleep, you're starting to see a trend here, right? All the healthy habits that we talk about, if they're not in line, will raise your level of chronic inflammation. And of course, the external stuff like smoking, allergens, radiation, most important to us, bad stress. Again, one of our habits of health. All of these things, we want to try to get them in line, bring down that inflammation and the wonderful side effect of weight loss.
So, Michael, I don't usually put you on the spot like this, but someone in the chat asked if inflammation can cause elevated liver enzymes. Is that something you feel like you could address? Yeah,
well, so your liver enzymes are elevated because of inflammation, right? You have inflammation in your liver, and that's why your liver is basically spilling out some of those liver enzymes that should be contained in your liver. A big cause today is what we call fatty liver. And it is soon probably to become the number one cause of chronic liver disease in this country, because now we have practically a cure for hepatitis C. My point is that it's directly related to our lifestyle, right? The bad foods that we eat, the lack of exercise, too much stress, all of that raises your inflammatory levels, raises your cortisol levels. All of that can cause buildup of fat in your liver, which is directly related to inflammation. And honestly, I can't overestimate. Everything really tracks back to inflammation. Everything wrong that goes on in our bodies is somehow related to inflammation. That's why it's so critically important to make these changes, because the impact is really you can't even overestimate the impact that you're getting when you do that.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And someone mentioned that someone in the chat asked, and we'd like to respond to this. So, do you have to be in fat burn for your anti-inflammatory response? No, you don't. And Michael, you didn't have weight to lose. So
right. I did do the 5-in-1 for 2 weeks because I wanted to experience fat burn, and it was pretty awesome. I lost 6 pounds in 2 weeks, got a lot leaner, and I loved it. I have maintained, which is what you'll do when you're in maintenance, I have maintained all of the nutritional concepts of fat burn. I feel absolutely the same, right? I still have a lot of energy. I still don't have the pain and the fatigue that I used to have. So if you keep those concepts going, you will still feel amazing.
Right. And I think it's important to recognize too, with all of our symptoms that we see throughout our lives, like I'm 42 years old, and I've been battling knee pain since I was probably 10 as a gymnast. I remember I've always had bad knees. Now, it's not to say that I did the program and I got into fat burn and I everything was cured. I still do have inflammation in my knees sometimes. And our bodies still respond properly when we overwork them. And a lot of the symptoms that people see with inflammation, you have to consider how long you've had them as well. Because sometimes, just like with extra weight that we have, we didn't get to that overweight, unhealthy weight in 5 months. Maybe it took us 20 years. Maybe it took us time to get there, and it's going to take time to help relieve some of those symptoms. So I'm seeing in the chat some people asking, I'm not seeing relief in this or that or the other. And we can't say Optavia cures anything specifically. We all see different benefits from it. And we're so lucky that we have this to start now. And I think looking at that perspective of making that decision now to live at a healthy weight, to learn how to eat healthy, to learn about things like healthy motion, healthy sleep, and healthy stress reduction. This is it is a lifestyle. The habits of health is not just about reaching a healthy weight. That's just the beginning. It's about optimizing our health and becoming better. But I'm just saying, be realistic with how long you've dealt with this, and pay attention to the little things as they change, because I feel better now 5.5 years after reaching my healthy weight than I did when I first reached my healthy weight. I think your body continues to heal and strengthen itself. So I wanted to ask you about, Michael, you talked about healthy motion with your, and I'm never going to say it right, ankylosing spondylitis. Did I say it?
Very good.
Okay. So you before were very aware of that habit of health, was exercise, right?
Yep. Yeah, I've definitely been active because I knew that for my particular condition, staying active was by far the best thing I could do. I was so confident of that and confident of the healthy lifestyle, I actually even wrote a book on my condition. So I was active before, but now I feel the benefits differently of healthy motion than I did back then. And my body is completely different than it was back then. I was at a healthy weight before, I'm at a healthy weight now, but just fueling my body differently. It's able to do things in a more efficient way. And I'm 50 now. So I feel like you were saying, honestly, I do. I know the question. I feel better now at 50 than I did with 40 and 30, because at those ages, I was having those chronic flares and exacerbations of my condition.
I love it. That's so powerful. And I will say that with one of the habits of health that I was ignoring in my life as a young mom, I don't know if I was young. I felt old. At 37, I felt really old. I have 4 boys. Now they're 15, 12, 9, and 6. And we had a joke in our family that we breed unhealthy sleepers. We breed bad sleepers. And I did realize that as I started focusing on the habits of health, that learning how, and we'll talk a little bit more about kind of each one of these a little bit, but learning how to make that a priority and how to really settle myself down for healthy sleep. My inflammation can, if I do have a time where I make choices where I maybe don't eat the healthiest foods, or if I overdo it physically or something and I have some pain or inflammation, that I know I can recover with sleep. And it really does. I saw someone in the chat said, I used to have knee pain and it would stay sore, and now the inflammation, the pain does go away. And that's the cool part. I love hearing that. So this is from Dr. A's Habits of Health. And hopefully you all received this as an email from your coach this week in the newsletter. And we just wanted to kind of go through some ways to douse the flames of inflammation in your life. So the first thing is what we were mentioning, is how you eat. Eat your vegetables. Dr. A says stay lean to stay green to stay lean. He always says that with his glycemic charts. The healthiest things are in green, and incorporating greens like lettuce and spinach that are low in calories, full of water, and they will help you continue to keep inflammation at bay. Stress relief is a big one. And for me, we have a child who has anxiety, so we spend a lot of time on stress relief in our house. And we spend a lot of time breathing. So if you feel your blood pressure starting to rise, then I challenge you to use the Stop, Challenge, Choose method that Dr. A teaches. He has a book all about Stop, Challenge, Choose, the ebook you can check out. Or you can even just, do the quick version of stop. What is the stimulus that's affecting me right now? And then challenge it. What's happening here? What happens next? Am I going to go off the handle and yell at my children? Or am I going to go stress eat? Or whatever it is that you do when you feel that kind of moment of losing control. And then choose. And choosing, whether you choose a healthy or an unhealthy choice, hopefully that will help you take more control of your stress. Hopefully you choose the healthier choice, obviously. But you can instantly, even if you just stop and take a deep breath and stop, challenge, choose, then you can control your stress in a significant way. And I have to give props to my husband. He's probably somewhere out there watching, and he actually took the kids away so they wouldn't bother me. But he's the master at this. He is so good with our 9-year-old. They stop and they breathe. And controlling our stress can really affect our inflammation in our lives. I talked a little bit about, I went the wrong way, guys. Sorry about that. I talked a little bit about sleep, but Michael, do you have anything to add about sleep?
I would just say that, we are in a country, we kind of probably have an epidemic of sleep deprivation. I'm actually pretty surprised when I hear people say, yeah, I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, because most of us do not. It's not my best habit of health either. So even if you feel like you're functioning good on 5 to 6, just know that is likely having some ill effects in your body that you may not feel today, but may come back to haunt you later. So just try to work towards getting that good 7 to 8, because that is really what we know is putting your body in the most optimal state.
Yep. And putting the blue light away, try to put your phones and your TVs and things like that away for an hour before you go to sleep, and give yourself some time to relax. Maybe take a bath. maybe read a book, a real actual book, which we don't do a lot now. Another way to deal with stress management is to make some time for yourself to get a massage. And massages can reduce inflammation. Research, I'm going to read this. Research shows that a 45-minute Swedish massage can greatly lower levels of two key inflammation-promoting hormones. And that's from a study in the Journal of Alternative and Contemporary Medicine. And I know that when I make time to get massages, I don't get them as regularly as I should. But I mean, if you look at the professional athletes, if you look at people that are dealing with chronic illnesses, a lot of them get massages because they know they reduce inflammation. Not only is it a time for you to spend doing some quiet time and reflecting on maybe on your day or your week or whatever, or your life in general, but try to take some time out of your life to get taken care of. And there are some things around that we can help. Did you have anything to add about massage, Michael?
No, it's just, you hit the nail on the head. It's really just about calming this down by relaxing yourself.
Yep. So great. So how do you want to live? We want to just kind of think of your life and what does it look like without inflammation? What does it look like living your best life? What are the things that you'll be able to do when you're at that ultimately healthy place? And it's a journey. I don't think it's a destination, and we all spend our whole lives working on getting to this destination that doesn't exist. But what does it look like? And how does this fit into your lifestyle? A lot of people start the Optimal Weight program as a diet, and they don't realize the breadth and the depth of what we have before us. We not only have a lifestyle that's healthy, but we have a community. And I'm just going to go right on to the next thing, is you have a coach to connect to who has been there, who will be a lighthouse to you. We always joke about being a lighthouse, not a tugboat. We have this magical community of people who are here together to help each other and raise and lift each other. These calls are one of my favorite things every week. I love getting on and hearing all the stories of people's success and learning different things from other people. The Habits of Health. If you haven't cracked open your books, I took a long time. When I did the program, I got to the weight I wanted to be at. And then I kind of lived there for a year, and then I opened the books. And I felt really bad because I missed out on so much. Read The Habits of Health that you have right now, because Habits of Health 2.0 is coming out soon, and you may as well get the most out of it that you can. So crack open your book, crack open your workbook, talk to your coach about the book and the workbook and what you're learning in there. That really changed my life. And it actually is what helped me decide to pay it forward and help other people. And then our feelings. Utilize the feelings, whether you're in a weight loss optimization or an optimization plan. Use the feelings, because they are so healthy and they are full of amazing probiotics and vitamins and healthy protein and such wonderful things. They're such great tools, and I love them. While Michael and I were planning this, going through this presentation last night, we're both eating our little healthy feelings, and it's such a blessing to have all of this available to us in that will help our bodies in the best possible way. So I am going to stop sharing. We are so lucky I want to invite everybody who's on. There's over 1,000 people here. So grateful you all joined us. I hope we helped you a little bit to understand inflammation just a little bit more. And I really appreciate our guests, Laurel and Michael. Thank you for being the best co-host ever. You're amazing. What an awesome call. And we invite you all to stick around. There's a special edition of a trilogy presentation for Father's Day. And we're going to hear some amazing stories of men who are changing their lives and out blessing the lives of others. So thanks again for joining us.
In general, achieving a healthy weight and following a healthy eating pattern may help reduce inflammation in the body. The extent and duration of potential inflammation reduction and how that affects a person's health status will vary from person to person based on numerous factors. This program and any of its materials do not in any way constitute medical advice or substitute for medical treatment. We recommend that you consult your healthcare provider prior to starting any weight loss program.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Optavia team.